Hi, happy Sunday. Well, here I am. I got thoroughly wet through yesterday. Manchester, you know, had to put on its wet bonnet just for all the visitors that came up to Manchester for the meetup. Had a thoroughly good time, but now I'm paying the price of the walking, and that's all I'm going to say. I'm not making a whinge video, this is a happy video. We met up in Costa in the Arndale. Sadly, a couple of people couldn't come. Sorry Sharon, you were poorly. And Kelly's friend, she was poorly too. And so was Ian. Ian was poorly and he couldn't make it either. You missed a really good day, all of you that couldn't come. It was a good day. So we had coffee and hot chocolate and coffee and toasties, etc. in the Costa till we made sure that everybody who was going to come had arrived. And then we meandered our way across. Well, I'm sure we went the long way around, but they were using the navigation things. And I know I'm a Mancunian. Well, I'm not a Mancunian, I'm actually from Oldham via Prestwich, but I'm sort of a Mancunian. I never go into Manchester, well, hardly ever go into Manchester. And with all the roadworks that were going on and the building construction that was going on, I was no use for directions anywhere, because where I used to know where things are, they're not there anymore. So we got round to the Countess Ablaze, and it was their knit afternoon on a Saturday. I'm getting my days mixed up, I only said Friday then. On a Saturday they have their knit in, so we went upstairs, and fortunately for me they had a lift, which was very welcome by this stage. So I went up in the lift, and I did remember to take little short videos, which you've probably seen before this video. But what I didn't do was, when I went back downstairs again to choose what I was going to choose, I forgot to video it. It was one of those days where you took the camera and yet you were so enthralled in what you were doing that you actually forgot. Anyway, as you can see, I put sort of a fringe on this very, very bright shawl. I think it could have done with a bit of a thicker fringe, but the yarn's not very thick, so it didn't really turn out to be a thick fringe at all. And people couldn't miss me, because as you can see I was wearing my t-shirt that my friend Sarah made for me. And Cheryl and Zoe were the first to arrive in Costa Coffee, and they knew it was me because I was wearing my jacket, which I'm not wearing at the minute because it's still slightly damp, because the heavens opened on me as I got. I mean, I made a foolish decision. Oh, my light's facing the wrong direction. Excuse me one moment. I'm sure you can see me, but I like to turn the light around. I moved it while I was going past it. It got rather wet, and it's still a bit wet. I foolishly decided to come back on the tram, which I was doing okay with. I got on the tram, no problem, but when I got off I thought, oh gosh, it was heaving down with rain by the time I got off. So I stupidly decided that I would walk from the tram stop down to my house, which really isn't that far, but it is when you've been walking about all day, and you're me. Anyway, yeah, I got stopped by about 3 different people while I was out saying, have you made that jacket? It's absolutely lovely. Anyway, it's my Granny Takes a Trip jacket, and it was made with the Signet Boho Spirit. Instead of doing separate colours for the squares, I cheated and I used a multicoloured yarn to just make all the squares. Hence it was quicker to make for me, and also there wasn't all the ends to sew in, if you know what I mean. The only thing is that the sleeves are a bit wide. I need to find out if I can find some more of the black yarn and, you know, take the sleeves in a bit. They were a bit long and a bit wide, but hey ho. When I make things to the pattern, I forget that I'm little and I'm fat, but I've only got very short arms. So anyway, on to the main event. You want to see what I bought, don't you? Countess Ablaze. It's a lovely, beautiful, beautiful shop, but expensive, yeah. But if you feel like treating yourself to a nice skein of yarn, she does do online. And everything she does is, it's got wool in it, everything. Which, I mean, I'd actually asked her, I said, do you not dye silk, or do you not dye cottons, or do you not dye anything else? But they have got things with silk in, which is what I bought. But they actually, this is actually camel hair and silk. It's what's it called? The Exotic Traveller. I don't know what the colour is, because, you know, I was organised, wasn't I, with the last video. I actually had the glasses, but then I haven't brought the glasses this time. It's fingering 4-ply weight, 100 grams, and there's 400 metres on it. Obviously it's hand wash only because it's got the wool in it. But it's absolutely beautiful. If you could feel how soft that is. It's gorgeously soft. So I think I'm going to be able to wear that because I've had it next to my neck a few times and it hasn't driven me crazy. But just in case, I'll probably make myself a little shoulder shawl, just so it doesn't have to come, you know, up round my neck. I've been looking for patterns, you know, that are more, whoops, nearly lost it then, like that rather than like this. Loads and loads of patterns for neckerchiefs and that have got the pointy edges. And I've sort of gone off the pointy edges. I want them a bit more rounded, you know, especially if I'm using like a random yarn. So at times like this I wish I still knitted. But even though I can still knit, I can't knit on circulars, which you would need to, even if you're going backwards and forwards with this, because it's got a lot of stitches on. So that was the first one I bought. And then I also bought, I mean, I did feel the other yarns, you know, the alpacas and the merinos and things, but they actually felt a little bit itchy twitchy to me. But bear in mind, I am very, very sensitive. Well, I'm not sensitive, but you know what I mean, my skin is. So this is the other one. It's in the same as the first skein. You know it would be me if I bought purples, wouldn't you? And this is called Christopher Morris, I think, or Norris. Christopher Morris. This one was called Share. Hang on. Bit rude, this one. I hope it says Rollocks and not something else. Tree. I hope it says Tree Rollocks. Because I'm not going to say the other word if it begins with a B, you know what I mean? But I think it's Rollocks, yeah. Tree Rollocks. And the Exotic Traveller 4-ply. And this one is Christopher Morris or Norris. Christopher Morris, I think. One of a kind. It's got all the shades of purples and pinks and everything. They're all Countess Ablaze. And this one I bought because I could not resist it. I'm hoping I'm going to be able to wear it. This one is a super chunky. It's Delegation, the Space Cadet. The colour Delegation is the Space Cadet. And it's a superwash merino and stellina. And stellina will be the little glitter bits. And it's a super chunky and it's 200 grams, 130 metres. But I absolutely fell in love with the colours. So I'm hoping to get myself a hat. And I don't know about a cowl. Maybe I can wear it all. It's such a terrible affliction being itchy. I mean, I was asking them at this Countess Ablaze, and they were saying, well, perhaps it's what you wash it in, or perhaps it's what you... And I'm thinking, no, it's not what I wash it in or what I comfort it in. It's the fact that it just itches me like hell. Even when I was little, my mum used to knit me woolly vests, and oh, I used to be, do I have to wear them, Mum? Do I have to? And it's scratching me so stupid when I'm wearing. And she's going, stand still, and I'm going, ah, it's itching me. She was a good mother in lots of respects, but she was a terrible mother in the fact that she didn't believe in that was it, itchy with wool. And my dad used to say, she takes after me because I'm itchy with wool. I can't wear wool either. And but my mother had skin like leather. She could put barbed wire on and wear it, you know, so she didn't understand why we couldn't wear wool and we were itchy. Anyway, that's my purchases from Countess Ablaze. Yay! So that's the bougie end of my purchases, this one. We also popped into Abercorn because Kelly wanted a certain colour and something or other. I don't even think she got it actually, but and while we were there we were watching a lady. She was like commissioned by Liberty Fabrics to make, well, we thought they were project bags, but she was calling them laundry bags because they were only very flimsy. But she was admiring the bags that I'd taken, you know, and looking at the fact that they were like got wadding in between to make them thicker and everything. Mine were by Rick Rack Designs, as you know, I've mentioned it before. Anyway, while I was in there, I did get tempted, you know, me and shawl yarn. But this is James C. Brett. It's called Northern Lights. It's one ball, one shawl, double knitting. And I absolutely thought that the colour was gorgeous. It's not quite as sort of patchy or hasn't got the same length, I don't think, of the shading that some of the others have got. So that's what I got. I think it was $5.99 or $6.99 a ball, I can't remember. And there's 450 metres on it, or 492 yards, and it's viscose and Premier Viscose. No, it's not. Oh, you tell I'm not with it. I've had pain pills, you know, so anything can happen. It's 95% premium acrylic and 5% viscose. So as I say, it's James C. Brett, and they never give their colours names. It's just NL2, I think. Oh, do you know, I should have put my glasses on. NL2, I think. But it's so pretty. I think Cheryl bought the same cam cab. She's got numbers behind her name. I'll put them in the link. I think she bought the same colour. Yes. So while, oh excuse me, now I've got a twitchy nose now. So while we were in Costa, I knit next door into Poundland, you know, from one extreme, from the Countess Ablaze to the other extreme, which was this one. And it's a Lurexy one. So this was from the bargain basement end, you know what I mean? But I do, it's absolutely, it is good quality yarn from Poundland. So that's what I got. And while I was out, I got a message on my phone saying that I'd had a delivery. So I couldn't wait to get home to see what it was. I mean, the first delivery was actually some tubey grip, you know, for my hands, because they're really bad with arthritis. And these had come from Aldi. They were sort of, I mean, if you see things online, ladies, don't dither, because if you dither, you snooze, you lose, yeah? So loads of people saw, I think it was Nathan actually left me a message saying that they had them in, I think it's Aldi, yeah, Aldi. This So Crafty rainbow yarn. And most of the yarn from Mouldy you can't order online, you've got to go to the shop. And I think I've told you before, the shops around here just never seem to have any yarn. But this you could order, you could pre-order it. So I ordered 2 of those. You may find them in your shop if you're a lucky person that has an oldie that has yarn. Oh gosh. 11/2007, that'll be obviously November, won't it? 2007, but it's got just a load of numbers, it's not got a name on it or anything like that. It's just called So Crafty. And those are the shades of it. I don't think it even says how much is in it. Oh yes it does. 200 grams and 350 meters approximately. 80% acrylic, 20% wool. Wash dark colour separately and keep away from fire. Well, you're not going to put it on the fire, are you? So that was it. I got 2 of those. They were sold in 2s, by the way. But people who went to look for it after I'd ordered it said it was all gone. So I don't know whether they still have any in. But like I said, most of the yarn that they have in Aldi, you can't order it online. You have to just be there or be square. I mean, people are always asking me, what's the ice yarn you're making? What's it called? Where, you know, and it's really pointless me telling you what it's called, because unless it's one of the regular lines, it won't be there anymore. As I said, you snooze, you lose. I just belong to, you know, like Kemps and people like that. I have their emails because they send me the emails and send me what's new in. They send me what's clearance lines. That's the only way that you get the bargains, is you actually join, you know, I mean, you're lucky in the US where you have these, you know, like bargain bags. I don't know what you call them now. Clearance lines, do you call them now? You buy a bag of something anyway. I think it's in Joann's and places like that. Now you see, we don't have things like that much here. You know, I used to go to the Berry Market and he used to have lots of that. But then all of a sudden he doesn't have much anymore. Anyway, that's the second colour. This one's just called Rainbow Yarn Blue, so that's the second. So again, I've got 2 of these. So instead of, I mean, I must admit I lay in bed this morning till I don't know what time because I was too scared to get out of it. Because I knew my back and legs were going to hurt. And you know, when you're in that nice comfy warm position, you don't want to get up. But then eventually, you know, your bladder says, gotta get up right now. And you want, I want to be a baby, I want to lie here and just get wet, you know. Which you don't really, but that was the mood I was in, because after I'd been to the bathroom and come back, of course you can't get in that nice comfy position again that you were in the first place. So then you might as well get up. We decided not to meet up this morning because the girls, Cheryl and Zoe, decided to go back on the earlier trains. And actually the sun came out for them, which was but it didn't last long. I got up and I thought, right, I'm going to do my blocking, I'm going to get the photos took for Etsy and things like that. And by the time I'd eaten my breakfast and that, the sun had gone in and the rain came down, so that was the end of that. Cheers, excuse me having a drink. What am I making now? Well, what I didn't take with me was, I'd started, you know, from the Lol's Lil Wool Shack. Got one of those, and I decided I'm not going to make any more triangular shawls. The yarn lends itself better to a semicircular. So I started this one. It starts off with the grey, eventually it'll get to the green, I presume. Not that you can see it or not. This one is a pattern I've done before, but I am doing it on one size larger needle because hook, I should say, you know, to make the yarn spin out a little bit better. Because I think the shawls, people like them a lot more open work. It's the 5-point diamond shawl, which is that one. And it comes out of this book, which is, I would sort of take, not umbrage, I would challenge them with the title of this book. Making a Weekend Shawls. Now I think you could make it in a weekend if you got up at 7 in the morning and you didn't do any housework or cooking or anything like that. You could probably make them in the weekend, but I'm not a slowpoke crocheter, but I mean, you know, the ones for the little children, you probably could easily make that even in a day, you know, that type of thing. But the actual one I chose to do, I couldn't make it in a weekend unless I just didn't do anything else, yeah. And so what else was I making? Oh yeah, this is what I took with me to Countess Ablaze. This is in one of Erin Gimme Yarn 418. She's called Pause. Oh, what's she called on Etsy? Oh, something Pause. Anyway, there it is. And again, it's with one of the balls that I got from Lowell's Little Yarn Shop. And I decided I would start a virus show because, you know, you can do that while you're chatting, can't you? But obviously I must have done a lot more chatting than I did crocheting because that's only as far as I got. And I just haven't picked up my crochet today. Just haven't picked it up at all. Anyway, I've taken one of my painkillers that I'm only supposed to take at night. So if I stay on here an awful lot longer, I'll be going to sleep. Oh, my hair gets me. Whenever it gets wet, it always goes the opposite way. Kelly laughs at me, and so does everybody else, because I just put one roller, one curler in the front when her hair's wet to curl it that way, yeah. So obviously today I didn't put the curler in. Oh dear. So it's raining hard, it's now dark. Oh, excuse me. Anyway, you've put your clocks back in the US, haven't you now? So you've caught up with the darkness started earlier. I hate this time of year. I really do not like being shoveled up, you know, in the dark and having to close the curtains. And oh, I like it when the fireworks are started again now. We have bonfire night here on November the 5th. But unfortunately bonfire night seems to start somewhere about October and drifts its way through to the middle of November. I wouldn't mind, you know, if it was just around even the 4th and the 5th, you know, the weekend. But the poor animals, you know, they get these booms and bangs and oh. And, you know, it scares them to death. I mean, Gigi's terrified of fireworks, yeah. I've just seen some lovely photographs of him on Facebook. They'd been out for a walk and they'd called out for the dinner, his parents. So I just saw some lovely little pictures of him. He's like my surrogate grandchild, really, isn't he? You know, he's not my child, he's just like I adopted him. But I had a very strange dream last night. I was dressed as a bride and I was in the church and everybody was there. And I walked up as far as the altar and I had really high heels on and this lovely dress. And my mother-in-law to be had said, I don't like that dress you've got on. She said, I've got one here for you to put on, and it was one of hers, you know. It was really horrible. And I said, I'm not putting that on. And then I'll get up to the altar and I sort of looked at my bridegroom and I don't know who he was because, you know, in dreams people don't have faces, do they? And I went, I'm not doing this. I said, I'm going home. And I picked up my dress and I walked out the church. And then as my dream was going along, I was getting lost. And I couldn't remember where I lived, and I was walking with these very high heels on which were hurting. So this must be my dream, must be me in bed with my back hurting. So I picked up these took them off the high heels, so I'm then in this dress that I'm holding up, and I couldn't find my way home. Anyway, the alarm woke me up, and so I never found out if I got home and who I was marrying, and I was like looking round corners, making sure that my bridegroom wasn't looking for me in the car to find out why I wasn't getting married. But I was only young in my dream. I had my lovely long white dress on, and it was like a meringue as well. It was a meringue frock, yeah. But apparently I was marrying somebody who was either very snobby or more money than me, you know, because they were looking down their noses at me dress, you know, as if it was like horrible, you know. I don't know what the meaning of my dreams are. I get them quite regularly. And they're all what I call feasible dreams, although I'm not thinking of getting married at all. But they are feasible dreams. They're not like silly dreams, like some people dream of weird things happening to them, or, you know, sci-fi or anything like that. No, my dreams are always like in the present kind of thing. But in my dreams I'm always much younger, and I've always got my mum and dad there. You know, because my dad was like there with me at the, well, not the altar or whatever, you know, wherever it was. And I said, I'm not doing this, Dad. And he goes, well, you know, don't do it if you don't want to. I said, I'm going home. So sorry to any potential bridegrooms. I'm not getting married, and if I put my white frock on, I'll probably go home. Oh dear. Well, for those of you who didn't make the Manchester Meetup, you missed a good weekend. Well, a good day it was really in the end. Excuse me. Need a drink. But we are thinking of organising another one for next year, but not in Manchester. For the people who live down the south of England, we're thinking of holding it somewhere, maybe down near Guildford or Rotherham or somewhere like that. But there won't be any details for a long time yet, because it will be next year. I know next year's not that long away, but we're not sort of thinking beginning of next year, we're thinking middle to end of next year. So those of you who want to attend, you've got plenty of time to arrange a babysitter or whatever, because they are adults only really. It wouldn't have done with kids there because there was too many temptations, you know, the bright colours and that, people would have been grabbing at things and everything. So we decided to, well, I don't know whether they'd let kids actually in that Countess Ablaze, yeah. I'm sure she wouldn't want all her expensive yarn being stuck up with sticky fingers, you know what I mean? Oh, it was bad enough when I had my shop. The kids used to come in with bags of crisps and ice creams, which they would then daub all over my wool. And if you said anything, it was like, don't go in her wool shop because she doesn't like kids. No, I don't like kids who run up and down and scream and put ice cream all over me wool. Yes, I'm very protective of my assets because I've got to sell them. And people don't want them if the kids have ripped all the labels off, you know. Maybe I just lived in an area where there were lawless kids, I don't know. Anyway, we went, the finale of us going was, there was just 4 of us, I think, that finished up there. Went to a fantastic fish and chip shop. It was great. But when I thought, well, I'll just put this on, because I didn't get dressed till like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so let's face it. So I thought I'll pop this on and sort of dirty it out, you know what I mean? It smells of fish and chips. Not a bad smell, but I would prefer perfume. And when I get downstairs, I discovered I've actually put navy blue trousers on. Not from yesterday, I had a skirt on yesterday. But it was sopping wet when I got in, so I had to throw it to the wash basket. I put navy trousers on with a black top. So You can tell I'm not very with it. I'm on my painkillers. Poor Sue, she went home early. Her back was absolutely killing her as well. But she has got her date for her injection. She's got the 14th, I think, of November for her injection, but I'm still waiting for my letter. Just hope it comes before Christmas. You don't realise, I know I said I wasn't going to talk about pain, but you don't realise how much pain you're in when you don't have it as bad. When I had the injection, I still had backache, but it was backache. But as the injection's wearing off now, it's backache in capital letters, you know what I mean? Exclamation marks. And it just takes the joy out of doing things. I mean, I was in good company yesterday, so while I was walking about, I had things that took my mind off it. But as soon as I got walking home from the tram station last night, you know, I was thinking, why did I think this was a good idea to walk home from the tram station? Why did I not get a taxi? Why did I? And I'm thinking, just keep walking, just keep going. Just one foot in front of the other, you know, keep pushing your little wheeler. You'll get home eventually, then you can sit down. Oh, I come through the front door like that. And I hadn't got energy. I'm like trying to draw the curtains, you know, shut the curtains too. And I was done. Prick me with a fork, I'm done. But having said that, it was well worth it because I did so enjoy being out and about with people that are like-minded. I mean, one of the ladies said, I could come here to Countess Ablaze like every week to the knit club. It's just such a lovely place. I wish we had places like near us where we could do this sort of. Because I don't have, well, I'm telling a lie really. I do have somewhere where they do a bit of knitting and crochet. But it's like 10 o'clock in the morning until 12 or something like that in a cafe. I barely see 10 o'clock in the morning, you know, because it takes me so long to get around, out of bed, wait for Gigi to arrive on the days that he comes. Then I go and have a shower and that, and then when I look at the clock it's more like midday. So 10 o'clock in the morning for me for a knit club, it was, you know, just wouldn't exist for me. I wouldn't mind one in the afternoon because I could leave Gigi for an hour or so in the afternoon and go somewhere, but there isn't one in the afternoon. They're both mornings. The ones that are anywhere near me are both mornings. And one of them's just a crafting, not just knit or crochet, it's crafting. You know, they do all sorts of crafting. I don't suppose that would be bad really, but where it is, it's awkward, and also trying to get my scooter in where it's awkward. And, you know, it's not that I don't like leaving my scooter outside if it's a shop and I can see it, but it gets wet through. It usually rains. So it's not much fun sitting on a wet seat when you come out. I've tried putting my rain cover over it, but then it blows up and you need to tether it down somewhere with ties or something. Otherwise you do get a wet bottom when you come back out again. Right, anyway, I'm going to go now. I'm just going to think about what I'm going to have for my tea, dinner, evening meal, whatever you want to call it. I'm actually not very hungry. I think I ate so much yesterday with my toasties and everything that I had my breakfast and I've not really had much else. I've got some lamb chops there, but I'm just not hungry yet. Maybe I'll be hungry maybe 7, 8 o'clock tonight, and maybe I'll do them then. So I've got Sue coming, I think, sometime this week, but I don't know when because I've actually got about 4 appointments to go. Chiropodist, dentist, doctors, hospitals. So if she wants to come down, she's going to have to fit herself in between wherever I'm going. I'll have to send her a message saying I won't be in this time, I won't be in there, I won't be in this time, so we can fit in between. Please come down and see me, yeah? So, I don't know whether she'll bring what she brought. She bought a lovely shade of, I think it's a plain colour. It's like teal colour. I can't remember what Kelly bought. She bought a lace weight, which is thin. So, oh, Kelly, if you did that, mate, I've got a red ball of lace weight waiting for you. Got your name on it. When I bought the Christine Omdale book. Well, not the last one. I think the one before that. Crochet So Fine. Not thinking that it was fine. It was like sewing thread fine. So I bought these skeins and never in a million years. I have got 2 skeins of purple though somewhere in this very fine, but as Sue said, with having the 2 skeins I can put them together and make a slightly thicker yarn, because even 2 lace weights is not a fingering, you know, it's very fine stuff. I'll see what I can do, because there's yards and yards and yards on these hanks, you know. I mean, they are beautiful, but it's purple. Not random or anything, just purple. So, I've got to use that. I'll donate the red to Kelly, but the purple would wound me to the heart, having to give up purple. I find it very difficult to part with purple, anything purple, to give to other people. They can have other colours, but not purple. Right, I think I'm still getting that cold that I thought I wasn't going to get. It's probably all the rain yesterday. I can feel my eyes growing heavy now because of taking that very strong painkiller, which I don't take as a rule. They're just my emergency, you know, pills, which I take maybe about 3 or 4 a year, you know, but I took one today because I thought, oh, I've had enough of this. But because it says take it at bedtime, I've got a feeling that my eyes are just going to go heavier and heavier, and not a lot of crocheting is going to get done tonight. I was already trying to read emails before and I was like going to sleep before. You know, when you're going like that, you have to keep going like that to wake yourself up. So I'm going to bid you farewell, and I'm not going to bid you farewell 4 times today. And I need to actually meet a lovely lady that said, when I said I always say goodbye about 4 times before I actually go, and she said, yeah, I noticed that. So just for you, Lorraine, bye-bye, 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 bye-bye. I'm going. So have fun with the rest of your day. I'm going to go now and think about making a coffee. Bye now.